My name's Shane Mauss. I'm watching the Radio Buzz Project. Right now I'm taking this scene, there's light bouncing off of me, it's going into your eyeballs. Somehow from that you're interpreting distance, motion, angles, colors, shapes. You're taking little vibrations out of the air through little holes in the side of your head. They're breaking down sounds into words, into language, into context. Do you have any idea how powerful a computer would need to be to know how hard this joke is bombing right now? It would take all the computers in the world, all working together, just to be like, joke robot, what's current status on this neuron joke? Well, it got a little long-winded toward the end there. Yeah, all of you were able to judge that effortlessly. Well done, everybody.
What's going on, guys? This is Les McFadden of the Radio Buzz Project, and here with me stands two legendary comedians.
I'm Nate Ball, y'all. What's up? How's it going?
And
Georgia.
I'm Shane Mauss. I do a show about psychedelics. So if before you noticed this, you would have been like, which person does a show about psychedelics?
Yes. It's Shane Mauss.
One would have had a stereotype in their mind.
Yeah. Probably this guy?
And they would have gone this guy. They would have been wrong.
Yeah. They would have been totally wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely down.
I'm a boring ass Midwesterner.
Yeah.
That has been doing psychedelics for 21 years and wrote a show about it.
That's really cool. How long, can you simplify the thought process behind the show tonight, which was a really fucking awesome show, man. That was really cool, and I found it really informative more than anything. This was very interesting.
So I definitely had a lot of experience with psychedelics. I like doing themed shows. I like doing science-based themed shows, and this is one of the shows that I put together. Was this particular one that took off, and all of a sudden people wanted to hear about psychedelics. Forever I've been trying to get people to hear about how the brain works in a funny way. And psychedelics happens to be one of those ways to get people involved in how to hear about psychology and perception, consciousness, and so it's just a great lead-in to understanding how the mind works.
Okay. You said you like themed shows. What was the theme before this? Because me coming here for the first time and seeing you for the first time, it's kind of hard to fathom you talking about anything else.
So I have put together a lot of theme shows, and I had a Netflix special called Mating Season, which is all about the evolutionary behavior of mating, and I was not happy with it, and then I figured it out after that, and then I did a show. I started going around with the show about the evolution of our negative emotions and why we feel pain and anxiety and depression, and how that's actually a functional thing evolutionarily in some contexts. And then I happened to break my feet when I was doing this show, and so I made an album about it called My Big Break. And then within doing that, in promoting it and being on podcasts, people are like, how'd you break your feet? Well, I was in Sedona. Why were you in Sedona? Well, I was going there to do my first ayahuasca ceremony that I didn't get to do because I broke my feet first. What's ayahuasca? Well, there's this stuff that I smoke called DMT, and then once I started talking about DMT, everyone was like, what is DMT? That is the craziest sounding stuff I've ever heard. And then I became like this DMT comic on podcast, and I was like, well, I have all this material that's been ready to go for a long time. And so I started doing the show. Actually, when I first started the show, it was all just jokes. And I had a little bit of information. And people responded to the information the most. They'd be like, that was a really funny show, but I liked the information in it. So I put in a little more information, and then people responded to it more. They're like, I really liked the information, so I kept on putting more and more information in the show, and now it's like a third, if not half, just pure information about how to do drugs better and how to trip better, and it kind of took off for me.
That's really awesome. When was your first stand-up?
My first stand-up was 2004, so I would have been about 24 at that time, and I didn't know what I was doing, but it also didn't take me that long to figure out how to do it better.
Interesting. Do you have any children?
I do not have any children, and I will not have children. I don't believe in them. Not that I don't think that they exist, I just think they're parasitic, and they incur an incredible cost on the parents that are trying to care for them, and I think we've evolved to perceive children as being this beautiful, magical thing, and the thing is our genes don't care about us as individuals, they only care about our genes going forward. And so it's a trick. It's a trick that has a lot of costs involved. There's a lot of costs involved in like just really attractive women. Like, if you haven't picked up on the fact that like sleeping with really attractive women will apply a cost.
Come on, guys.
Great show, man.
A great cost.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Then, you know, I think you haven't had children. And so my perception is that evolution is biasing our minds to lie to us so that we will do more work than is actually necessary for our individual lives.
Interesting. Religion. Was it the same before you partook in psychedelic experiences?
So, before I smoked DMT, I was a pretty angry atheist. And since smoking DMT, I've had to go, okay, I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm still upset in the fact that like people subscribe to organized religion in a way that is just, I mean, it's brainwashing. But in the same way, now I'm open to the idea that there are things that we cannot explain.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I totally about organized religion. To me, is this very ignorant people that can't think or don't want to think. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, I've experienced too many things to be like, well, this is this or that is that. Who the fuck knows? You know, I think this is my thing. I say it's spiritual though. Honestly, I haven't had as much experience with you, but I tried DMT one time, and it'll make you feel spiritual. For sure. Man, I ain't got no change, dude. I had to work. I had to work for food tonight myself, dude. For real. I mean, I didn't need it as much, but thanks, dude.
You went straight over the all, you made Shane, you know.
Man,
Oh no, I
I'm
don't.
saying you're gonna turn the camera on me.
Okay, no.
Thank you, man. Hey, y'all have fun. Picked up on the Miller.
I just
Not
gave you
even-
$1. That
Hey.
means you gotta leave.
Take it easy, brother.
Okay.
Have a good night, sir. That's a good process.
I think there's a lot of broken people out there
Yeah.
that could use psychedelics and are instead looking towards speed and other escapes, and the only way out is in.
Is that an organic light there, sir? Is that gold? An American Spirit gold?
If you weren't in comedy, what would you guys be doing?
Shit. Probably a sex slave.
I
been
feel you,
kidnapped
brother.
twice.
Really?
But then once I got to like the auction block, dude, I did not fetch any money. So then they just sent me home. I mean, they didn't even care to like kill me. They were like, that's gonna waste too much money. Like, go home. So I probably have to get back into that. Or, you know, I don't know, fast food. You get a shift wheel.
If I weren't in comedy, I would be doing.
Previous amazing plays.
I would be working a forklift, or I would be working a crane. Sorry.
That's cool. You gotta be in a union for that, don't you?
That's
I worked for a lot of factories before, so I know what I'd be doing. I'd be pulling levers.
that's really cool. That's really cool. Oh no, you're good.
Chris Patton, right here. Get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Host of Laugh Fest.
You guys doing an interview?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going upstairs.
Have you ever been to Athens before?
First time to Athens?
Really? Yeah. Nice. Do you think if you had as big of a following as like Kevin Hart, do you think you'd be considered a threat to the government, considering the amount of awareness you bring to the people?
Well, I imagine that I will potentially be a threat to the government.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, because I mean, the government is selling itself based off of like very baseline kind of fears, and these outsiders are very scary, and they're the ones causing the threat. I think that psychedelics open people's minds up a bit, and I think that's why they're really scary for a lot of people.
I concur, my man. I really do. Do you have any hope for humanity?
Yeah, I do. I think that people, because of I think that people are chronically stressed, and a part of our stress response system is supposed to do this parasympathetic stress response, which is meant to dial all of your stress response down. And it's not doing that in humanity because everyone is viewing everything in the future as a threat. People are viewing I think that people are viewing their threats as the same way they would as a lion attacking them. I think they're setting off the same stress response for, say, their 401k, and I think this is making people chronically stressed and they can't turn it off, and I think that's making people, giving them tunnel vision. I think that people are ignoring their immune systems and digestion, and I think that people are eating like shit and smoking cigarettes.
It's okay.
All of these things that are ruining our lives.
Interesting. Are you happy?
Am I happy? I guess, you know. I mean, it's a hedonic treadmill. You can only be as happy as you weren't the day or month before. So, like, you obtain whatever happiness means, you obtain it. And then you need a little bit more because we've evolved to be this way, to strive for more. So there is no happiness to like grasp and hold on to. There's only happiness that you can strive for. It doesn't matter what goals that you're going to get. You're going to continue to want to be happier, which is a silly thing.
Yeah.
It's like chasing the dragon, right? It's like you get a little taste, then you realize it's fleeting.
Happiness is a drug.
Yeah, right. I feel it. It is.
The choice of being born, knowing all that you know now and all the pain. You said you were a victim of chronic depression. Knowing that, would you want to be born?
I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all.
Right on.
As if nothing really matters.
That's One Direction, right?
I mean, I've gotten to experience this madness
I'm just kidding.
that is life, and you know, it's like an interesting experience, and I don't know what to make of it, honestly. I can't say that it's good or bad because I can't see how it could be either. I think it's both at the same time. And so happiness. Yeah, happiness is, I mean, I think that we need to all find the placebo that works for us and then take it in small increments.
Did you go to college?
No. Just crazy smart.
Ha 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 ha. I could dig it, man. Considering the amount of psychedelics you've done, do you ever feel sober?
Do I ever feel sober?
Like back to your normal state, to the point where you felt before you partook?
I don't ever want to go back to the state that it was before I partook in drugs.
But do you
Shane,
ever?
you like dumplings? I just got these delivered.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Pretty decent. What about you? Last one was that dumpling back?
Oh, dude, don't mind if I do.
Ooh, the sauce is killer. Dumpling?
Is it?
Sure.
Oh man, dumpling in Athens.
I couldn't tell where they're from, but my bro got them, and they taste pretty decent.
Oh, dude, these are pretty cool.
The sauce is what steps it up.
Yeah.
Try the sauce? You a sauce guy? That's where they had all the MSG.